Who gave the best promo? What was the best feud? Best heel turn? Best wrestler? All this and more in my picks for WWE Best of 2024. Welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jason C. McLean. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and of course ring that bell for notifications to get all my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, assorted thoughts on Raw and SmackDown, wrestling opinion pieces, WWE Premium Live Event predictions and reviews. Now, that's my regular content, which you haven't been getting for a little over a week or so. I decided to skip the last few Raws and SmackDowns of the year, and sadly, Saturday night's main event too. I might do that video later, but who knows? And instead, focus on these two videos. Now, my first regular video back is going to be on January the 4th. It's my assorted thoughts on the January 3rd SmackDown. I'm recording this, by the way, the 28th of December 2024 in the evening. And I'm going to have one other video after this in 2024. That's my best matches of the year. And this is my everything but the matches best of 2024. Now, I'm talking about WWE. I'm talking only about main roster. Not that I don't like NXT. I just don't watch it to enough of an extent to be able to have an opinion on the best of the year. So, you know what? Let's just get right into it with WWE's best feud of 2024. Now, there are some runner-ups or honorable mentions. We have Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. We have Cody Rhodes versus The Rock or Roman Reigns or Kevin Owens, a sort of later feud. There's also Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. But my top feud of 2024 is Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. Now, this one's not just about the trilogy of matches they had, the last one being incredible. See my best matches of the year video for that. But the build to it, when CM Punk was injured, started right after the Royal Rumble. I mean, Drew saying he prayed for this and it happened. There was all the trolling online. I mean, it really picked up at WrestleMania when Punk caused the Damian Priest cash-in, made it a possibility. After Drew won, there was Punk screwing over Drew. There was Drew beating up Punk on SmackDown, stealing his bracelet. The bracelet became a thing. This thing continued. It never got stale. I know some people might have thought it got stale at one point, but just when it sort of got stale with the build, it got really interesting with the actual matches. But before the matches, the Clash at the Castle thing where Punk cost Drew the title as the referee, that was every aspect of this was incredible. You could feel the anger on both sides. It was very real, very believable, incredibly interesting, and probably one of the most memorable WWE feuds I've seen. So it definitely gets my top feud of 2024. Moving along with WWE's best crowd of 2024. Okay, so there's some good runner-ups for this one. We have the Clash at the Castle crowd, Bash in Berlin, a number of the Raws and SmackDowns leading up to WrestleMania, in particular the March 25th crowd in Chicago. After Mania, there's the April 11th crowd in Montreal. That's only because I was part of it. It feels differently when you're there. That was for a Raw. But of course, the winner, hands down, is Backlash in France. It's funny because in 2023, it was probably Backlash in Puerto Rico. Backlash really seems to set the standard. This crowd really set the standard for the year. They had the Loudometer for the first time. It was hard for people to finish promos at SmackDown the night before, but even to just get the match started, they were cheering for the babyfaces, the heels. It was incredible. It was a really incredible thing to behold. It was the new definition of a hot crowd. Next, it's WWE's best crowd pop of 2024. Okay, so we have some runner-ups. Roman Reigns returning at SummerSlam as a babyface this time. We have Rhea Ripley returning both times, both on Raw. We have The Undertaker's surprise appearance at WrestleMania 40, Night 2. We have The Rock a few times. But the winner is Paul Heyman saying, "You are not my tribal chief," to Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline on the June 28th SmackDown. Now, Heyman also got a huge pop when he returned unexpectedly on SmackDown to announce CM Punk was going to be in the War Games match. But this pop in particular, in Madison Square Garden, has to be the loudest babyface pop of Paul Heyman's entire career. It was so dramatic. It was like we knew he wanted to do it. We wanted him to do it. And he took his beating after, and he was out for a few months. But the reaction to him saying, "You are not my tribal chief," was incredible. Next up, WWE's best heel turn of 2024. Okay, there were a few top contenders for this one. We had the New Day, or in particular Kofi Kingston, along with Xavier Woods. We thought one was going to turn, but not both of them, on December 2nd Raw, turning on Big E. That was brutal. They got nuclear heat as of that night and the very next week. We have Kevin Owens turning on Cody Rhodes in the parking lot after Bad Blood. That was very interesting in how they did that sort of off camera or off official cameras. They let it be a social media thing. Definitely impressive. There was Chad Gable turning on Sami Zayn at Raw in Montreal, but again, I was there for that one, so it maybe hit a bit different. And we have to mention Dominic Mysterio at SummerSlam. It's notable only because he was already a massive heel, and he turned heel, or even more heel, while being a massive heel. Very impressive. But of course, my winner is The Rock at the WrestleMania 40 kickoff. Well, it was more of a build than that, a week-long build, actually. Over the weekend, people online pretty much turned The Rock heel anyways. And then there was the "We Want Cody" chants and "Rocky Sucks" chants on Raw. Then he appeared on the Pat McAfee show. But the, I guess, official, like, yeah, I'm embracing this. I'm going to be a bad guy again. I'm going to eventually becomes the final boss. That happened at the WrestleMania 40 kickoff when he tried to, hype up the match with Roman Reigns, still sort of playing to the crowd, talking to the media, but also putting down those detractors in the crowd, dismissive Cody crybabies. He already coined that phrase earlier in the day. He started showing the character, but then really when he slapped Cody Rhodes, he said, "We have a problem." That's when he officially turned heel, and that was unexpected, certainly at the beginning of the year. I didn't think they were going to go through with it, even though the build was happening, but I was so happy they did, because I was so happy we got heel Rock back, and that was an incredible way to do it at a presser event. Now, WWE's best heel of 2024. So The Rock's definitely a runner-up for this. He wasn't around long enough to win it. So was Kevin Owens, who only became a heel at the end. Also, the New Day became heels at the end of the year. Either of them could be top heel for 2025. There's, of course, last year's winner. Well, I actually didn't do this video last year. I don't think this channel existed last year, but if it did, Drew McIntyre most likely would have won. They're all great runner-ups, but my winner is the current Women's World Champion, Liv Morgan. Now, this is an interesting one. I actually did a video. One of my first videos was, is Liv Morgan turning heel? Because technically she returned at the Royal Rumble as a babyface, but she was pretty much the same character. And the only thing is she was going after Rhea Ripley, who was technically a heel, but Rhea Ripley was clearly the crowd favorite. So the formal heel turn actually, I think, happened after she attacked Rhea. And then on the Raw I was at in Montreal, she was really booed by the crowd. She wasn't really massively booed before that. But she was then officially a heel, but it wasn't enough of a turn, because I think she kind of started the year as a heel anyways, at least in that character, and has been consistent throughout. I even got some heel merch, Live and Dom, Live and Dirty. What does it say? Yeah, Live and Dirty. Yeah, so definitely she's drawn the ire of the crowd. Her talking about how, men like Dominic Mysterio don't want girls like you. They want girls like me. And then just basically, winning by cheating with the help of other people. And now she's got her whole little crew besides the Judgment Day. She's got her man, Dom, who's still one of the most hated heels in the company or the industry. And she's got her heater, Raquel. She actually did legitimately beat Io Sky. So they're giving her some legitimacy as a champion, which is cool. What a year she's had. She's come back. The fact she's finishing off 2024 as the Women's World Champion. Nobody saw that coming. And she did it by being such a great heel character. She's embodied her role. I think as a babyface, I think she was missing something, but she works so much better as a heel, and she is definitely my top heel of 2024. Next up, WWE's best face turn of 2024. As I mentioned before, technically Rhea Ripley was a heel at the start of the year, but she was really popular. Going away cemented it, but her babyface turn was inevitable. In fact, she became a babyface long before she was even injured, even though she was technically the heel against Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. Regardless, Damian Priest definitely has had a babyface turn, but it was kind of like he was a tweener for a bit, and then he was a full-on babyface. And he's gotten over, but not to the ultimate extent. We also had Bayley turning babyface, which was a good one. It was fun how it happened against the other members of I almost said Judgment Day, of Damage Control. And now the rest of Damage Control are baby faces as well, too. So those were all good face turns, but there's really only one possible choice for the best face turn of 2024. That's the OTC, the original Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. I mean, technically it happened at SummerSlam. That's when he returned, but it had really been brewing for a few months. Crowds have been chanting, "We want Roman, we want Roman," whenever Solo Sikoa came out with the new bloodline. And yes, Jimmy Uso and Paul Heyman also turned babyface too, but they were sort of, part of the package. I'm just amazed that it took a few months of Roman being away for Triple H to turn him into one of the most over baby faces in the industry. That's something that the previous administration couldn't do for like a decade. They were trying to shove him down everyone's throat as a baby face. People just weren't accepting it. Some liked it, some didn't. But people want Roman now. We want Roman. Yeah, he's managed, without really changing his character, he's gone from incredibly over as the biggest heel in the company to incredibly over as one of the top baby faces in the company. And that was truly stellar to behold. Definitely the top babyface turn of 2024. But is he WWE's best babyface of 2024? No, Roman Reigns isn't. I mean, he's definitely one of the top baby faces in the company now, but he started the year as a mega heel, and the switch happened after WrestleMania. He's definitely a runner-up, though. So is, the guy I'm always supporting, my perennial favorite, Sami Zayn. He's just comes across as just such a good guy, really good wrestler, too, really popular with the crowd. There's also Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, their top baby faces. I think Bayley might have become one of the better baby faces of the year, even though her title reign was not as great. But they all definitely count as runner-ups. But the winner is the undisputed WWE champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. He started the year as the top babyface in the company. He finishes the year as the top babyface in the company. He's he's following the sort of John Cena roadmap. He's very kind to fans. He responds directly. He helps people out. He's the face of the company. He finished his story. He did, and he's still doing all the great babyface things, and he's still a champion, though Kevin Owens might have a difference of opinion. Randy Orton's over, but you don't, for example, know that he's not going to turn heel. You're pretty sure Cody is not going to turn heel, at least not anytime soon. He is the quintessential milquetoast babyface. He's incredibly over at it, and he definitely wins. And now WWE's best tweener of 2024. For those of you who don't know, tweener is neither a babyface nor a heel, but can be both. And not we're not talking about a cool heel or a babyface with an attitude like Stone Cold Steve Austin. No, this is a true tweener. Now, you could argue that some do argue that Seth Rollins is a tweener, but he's more of a babyface. He occasionally sort of shifts his allegiance, but he's pretty much a base. CM Punk too is clearly a babyface. Those two things might switch. They might become tweeners or heels, both of them. But there's only one true tweener that I can think of, and he's the reigning Intercontinental Champion, Braun Breaker. He's amazing in the ring, really popular, fun to watch, got the dogs barking. When he's going against Ludwig Kaiser, the crowd really cheers for him. When it's against Ludwig and Sheamus, the crowd cheer for Sheamus more, but also for Braun. When he's going against Sami Zayn, the crowd still kind of likes it, but they know that Sami's the babyface. They're behind Sami. They were definitely behind Jey Uso when Jey Uso won. They were behind Jey Uso when Jey Uso lost. And yeah, that time, although Braun didn't cheat, he definitely took some assistance from Solo Sikoa, the distraction victory, and he won as a heel. And he does heelish things sometimes, but he also does babyface things sometimes. And he's really good when he does all of it. He's the quintessential WWE tweener, and he's my top tweener of the year. WWE's best push of 2024. Now, I was going to say Bronson Reed, because I really liked how he jumped from sort of mid-carder all of a sudden to feuding with Seth Rollins. And he might have actually won it if his push had been able to continue past Survivor Series War Games, where unfortunately he got injured. But I still don't know if he would have won, but he would have had maybe a better chance. But he was definitely someone I was thinking of. Liv Morgan got a major push as a heel. Definitely improved on her reputation from previous years. All the regular people got pushes. Tiffany Stratton, another runner-up. But of course, the best push of the year is the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu. Since he arrived, he's been either in the main event or the first match, semi-main of, I believe, every premium live event. Everyone's scared of him, including people in his family and top babyfaces in the company. He was a tag team champion randomly after a few weeks after arriving, and then he never lost it. They actually, when the Bloodline was going to lose the tag titles, Solo made him give the title up. He took he actually no-sold a CM Punk toolbox shot, the kind of thing that destroyed Drew McIntyre. He's presented as incredibly tough, incredibly over. Every time they always tease him next to some other major babyface or even major heel. Like they'll have him and, Braun Breaker standing next to each other. The crowd will go, ooh, him. And I think the last one was just Braun Strowman. An incredible debut. He's clearly going far. He's incredibly well protected. They even made it so that when Roman came back at SummerSlam, he was injured. I don't know if he really got injured, but he was definitely selling an injury to explain why he wasn't able to stop Roman Reigns. Incredible debut push for somebody who I believe really not I'm going to say deserves it. Yes, he deserves it, but he earns it. I love you, Solo. Anyways, best surprise. The Rock turning heel surprised me. Roman Reigns turning babyface surprised me. Both members of the New Day saying what they said to Big E, that surprised me. But I'm talking about big surprise. This is something I definitely was not expecting, and I'm actually surprised that this happened this year. I'm talking about me now being interested in Karrion Kross. Earlier in this year on videos, in WrestleMania, I was like, why is he part of WrestleMania? I know they wanted to get Bobby Lashley in, but Triple H, give it up. You're not going to get Karrion Kross over. But you know what? With this new thing with the Wyatt Six and the Miz, he's actually very interesting. He's actually a very good promo. He's really funny on social media. And he's being proven right. All the New Day breaking up, whatever. You know what? I think they finally managed to get Karrion Kross over. Good on them, good on him, and that surprised me. WWE's best broadcaster of 2024. A better name for this category might be best future broadcaster or best most impressive debut as a broadcaster. Because, Michael Cole's still the voice of WWE. Pat McAfee, Jesse Ventura even, incredible. Wade Barrett, Corey Graves, they're all great. The backstage people are great. But the one I'm giving it to is Jackie Redmond. Why? She's really changed the style of backstage interviewing. The way she even passes back to the commentators is great. She's been actually done a couple of sit-down interviews. That was something only Jim Ross did. It's clear they're letting her go beyond the scope of what is traditionally reserved for the backstage interviewer. I forgot to mention Joe Tessitore. He's been great too, very consistent, and he's a welcome addition. He's not going to stay on the Raw commentary desk for much longer, but still. But Jackie is there, and she's hosting the pre-games on the PLEs. She's, hanging out with CM Punk and Jey Uso, going to a hockey game. She's definitely, even though she's a hockey broadcaster mainly, she's really immersed herself in this world and is definitely getting bigger and bigger. So she gets my best broadcaster 2024. WWE's best entrance of 2024. Okay, some of the runner-ups. Jey Uso pretty much everywhere or most of the time. Raw, SmackDown, PLEs, just in general. The Wyatt Six, when they show up on whatever Raw, their entrance is always very interesting, very fun. There's a lot from WrestleMania, as there normally are. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi had an incredible entrance. The Kabuki Warriors and Dakota Kai had one as well, too. It was, of course, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. I almost gave it to one of the two. Roman had an entire orchestra with them. Cody with the mask and Brandy Rhodes coming out. Sami Zayn had a great WrestleMania entrance because he was coming up, through the bowels of the building. He had the camera following him. Kevin Owens gives him the thumbs up or the go get him. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, really fun entrance. I also like, honestly, on a personal note, that Raw in Montreal, when Jey Uso left the arena, the camera followed him. He went outside, met Sammy. Sammy comes back in through the arena. That was one of my favorite entrances, but I was there live for it. It's Montrealer. But of course, for the top entrance of the year, Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 40, Night 2. Sorry, Seth freaking Rollins, and the sun was still up, so I guess it was day 2 leading into Night 2. Drew had a nice entrance too, but what I loved about this entrance is it was like a mummers group that came out with them, and they went all the way around the ring, and they were really annoying Drew McIntyre. You could see that, but it was so over the top. His outfit was over the top. That was obviously, he had done an entrance the night before, but that night was really for The Rock because everyone else was wrestling the next night. It was jam-packed, wild, and you couldn't take your eyes off it. And it was an incredibly fun entrance. Next up, WWE's best promo of 2024. This is an insert that I think is necessary. I just watched the Seth Rollins CM Punk promo that capped off the December 30th, 2024 Raw. And wow, it was incredible. It was so real on both sides. I don't know if it would have actually won if I had seen this before recording the video, but it definitely would have at least placed on my runner-ups. Now, back to what I thought yesterday. There were some great promos this year. There was the March 1st giant cracked with popcorn promo from The Rock on SmackDown. That was notable because Roman Reigns also asked The Rock to acknowledge him. There was some real drama going on amongst all the comedy. Rock had some other great heel promos like the Rock concert, but that one kind of stands out. We had more recently Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens from SmackDown on November 22nd, setting up Saturday night's main event. Even more recently, we had Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre. I didn't even do an assorted thoughts on this show, but it was on the Raw December 23rd. It's where Sami basically tells Drew, it's not all about you. Other people have problems too. Really emotional, really great. And of course, there was the three-way promo with CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins on the Chicago Raw, the one March 25th. But my top promo of the year comes from that very same episode. The Rock's bloody "Look at You Now" promo to Cody Rhodes on Raw, March 25th. A truly great promo, especially when combined with an angle, significantly raises the stakes for the match or matches that it's there to promote. This was unexpected and truly excellent. It definitely raised the stakes. It was bloody. It was cinematic. It was shot in the rain. There were so many hints with the trucks. Okay, fine. Steve Austin didn't end up showing up at WrestleMania, but they were hinting that. People were picking it apart. WWE doesn't usually show blood. They do occasionally and sparingly, and this they did it on Raw. And it came out of nowhere. The Rock was not just the fun heel character. He was he was the final boss. He was like, look at you now, boy. Beating Cody Rhodes mercilessly, and no one could get to him. It really upped the ante for where they were going in this new era, and it blew me away. I think it blew a lot of people away. And verbally he kept going back to the same things, but he was talking, he was basically doing a promo with his fists as well as with his words, and it's definitely the top promo of the year. WWE's best swerve of 2024. Speaking of swerves, there was Dom, choosing Liv over Rhea, but you could kind of see that one coming. There are probably a few others, but there's really only one choice for this. The WrestleMania 40 main event, or main events plural. Now, it's interesting because it's a swerve, but it swerved things back to the original main event people thought they were going to get, which was Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns after the Royal Rumble. There was kind of a swerve with The Rock coming in, but then because of the crowd, they swerved again. Again, I mentioned this earlier in the heel turn with The Rock, but this impressed me because they swerved in the direction the audience actually wanted. And also we got that tribal combat match, which was, I can talk about that in best matches of the year, but yeah, definitely top swerve of 2024. WWE's most deserved win of 2024. You could talk about Cody finishing his story or Sami Zayn beating Gunther, but both of those guys have had major wins in the past. There's one main one that I'm thinking of. Chelsea Green becoming the first Women's United States champion at Saturday night's main event. As she even said in the promo, she should have had something like this a few years ago, but she was released and then she wasn't even around and what have you. She's already won a tag title, but you know what? Someone who definitely is so entertaining. I think this mid-card title, the concept, not this one, but the concept of a women's mid-card title, I think was essentially made for Chelsea Green. I'm glad they did it, and I'm glad they made the right choice with the first winner. Next up, WWE's best tag team of 2024. Now, I'll be completely honest. I've said a few times that while I do like some single stars becoming the tag champs, I have liked it with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, with the Rocket Sock Connection back in the day. What I really missed is actual tag teams winning the tag team title. So I could have talked about the Motor City Machine Guns. I could have talked about DIY. Maybe now I almost said the Viking Experience, the War Raiders. I was even tempted to put Awesome Truth in this category because at the beginning of the year they had a great year, even though they're not a tag team anymore. My winner, though, was two single stars put together as a tag team, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Now, I know that Jade's been injured and Naomi is now in the team with Bianca, so the story changes. But during the year, everyone expected them to win the tag titles. Eventually, they did. No one expected them to lose it, but they did. And eventually, they ended up getting it back. So they actually brought a lot of interest to the Women's Tag Team Championships, something that definitely wasn't happening at the beginning of the year. It sort of started to happen with the Kabuki Warriors, but I think it was Bianca and Jade that really made this division, really made those titles, and they're my top tag team of 2024. WWE's best faction of 2024. Last year, if I had done a video, it would have been the Judgment Day. That was really this year. Now, the Judgment Day is kind of interesting. They've changed, but they're actually a little bit, I'd say, less interesting. I'm interested if like Rhea, Priest, Liv, Dom, and Raquel aren't involved. I'm not as interested in Carlito, JD, Finn Balor. They might pique my interest again. It wasn't terrible, but they're definitely not tops. Other factions. Damage Control is an interesting faction, but they keep losing members, so they're due to injuries. So they had an interesting start of the year, but they're definitely not top faction now. I guess we're going to have to go back to an old chestnut with a bit of a revision. The winner are the Bloodlines plural. Now, this is one faction that split into two factions or changed people and then brought in the original faction. Throughout the year, there was the whole Bloodline Rules match. It was sort of coming off a stale thing. Like they brought in The Rock at one point, and then they had Solo's group, and then there was the whole split, and then Roman's group coming back in. This Bloodline storyline has entered like a third or fourth gear. It keeps going. I don't know what inning we're in. Maybe we're in like the sixth or seventh inning, or maybe we're still in the bottom of the fourth, as Paul Heyman would say. But the Bloodline is still the top faction. Both Bloodlines are still the top story, and therefore they are the top factions for me in WWE 2024. Just 3 more to go. WWE's best wrestler female for 2024. So am I just looking for best in-ring? No, that's definitely part of it, a huge part of it, but also, best in-ring storytelling, best promos, best storyline, best overall presentation. There are definitely a few good candidates this year. You have like Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green, who were both incredible, achieved heights. There was also Io Sky, always good, proved again just how amazing she is. Bianca Belair, really always top notch. Jade Cargill was sort of being helped by Bianca Belair, but she definitely had the aura and the presence. Bayley was again a hell of a hand, also a sort of a decent champion, even though her reign was not that great. And of course, Liv Morgan. Yeah, Liv Morgan had an incredible year too. Her in-ring was not as great, but the way she covered for it, she put on some amazing matches. But of course, my winner is Rhea Ripley. Now, of course, this photo was from WrestleMania where she fought Becky Lynch, and Becky also was, of course, incredible. In fact, the thing is, she wasn't around for a lot of the year. She did still have some amazing matches, and she's now officially, well, she's not retired. She's just sort of not under any kind of contract. Yeah, Rhea was also out for a lot of the year too, but with the time she was there, she definitely made the absolute most of it. She had some incredible moments. She's really over, really great in-ring knowledge. I like the fact that she got like a orbital bone injury. She had the mask on, and the first thing she does is give a headbutt. She knows how to sell things. She sells her, like, I think at one point it was her leg or something was supposed to be injured, or her arm, and she sold it beautifully. Incredibly over, very talented. Again, probably I didn't do a video last year, but if I had, she would have won it last year too. She might win it next year. Top female wrestler of the year, Rhea Ripley. Now WWE's best wrestler, male for 2024. And again, I'm not limiting it to in-ring, but that's definitely a huge part of it. Overall presentation. Honestly, I was thinking of giving this to Sami Zayn, just because he's so incredible fighting from underneath. Had an amazing year. Cody Rhodes finished his story. Great year as well, too. Roman Reigns, amazing. Really, all these guys, really solid, really great performance. Chad Gable was actually really solid as a heel. And as a babyface, and he had some really good matches, but he wasn't around as much. But the winner, the World Heavyweight Champion, the Ring General Gunther, he knows how to sell. He knows how to be believably dominant. His character is consistent, even when it changes a bit, like when he was having a bit of doubt after losing to Cody Rhodes. He was believable in why he was doubting his man. That helped to make Priest a more believable opponent, someone who could possibly beat him. He knows how to dismiss his opponents and really losing to Sami Zayn, he put on an incredible performance, and it made perfect sense why he was dominating for so much of the match and why he ultimately lost. Everything he does makes sense. Everything he does looks good. He's in such a solid character right now. Amazing. Gunther, he probably would have won it last year too, but definitely 2024 WWE Male Wrestler of the Year. And the final category for this video, Best WWE Premium Live Event or PLE of 2024. Now, WrestleMania 40 was really good. They had some amazing matches, great moments. Stellar almost won this one. Also, Bad Blood was amazing start to finish. I had one of the best matches of the year. Again, see that video for that. Backlash just for the crowd. In fact, most of WWE's PLEs were even Saturday Night's Main Event, which wasn't technically a PLE, was a really good show. Consistently good throughout the year, but there definitely has to be a winner, and that is SummerSlam. I said in my review it was the best SummerSlam in years, and I still mean it. This show was great from start to finish. There was really good storytelling from the very first. There's the whole Judgment Day story, the very first match. It continued in the Gunther versus Damian Priest match. There was let's see, what else was there? There's the return of Roman Reigns. Sami Zayn did lose the Intercontinental title, but that was a short match, and that was and it made sense that Braun Breaker would win it. Perfectly planned, really well executed. Didn't take too long. Had me on the edge of my seat from start to finish. excellent PLE, my top of 2024. And these were my picks for the best of WWE 2024. Subhead, everything but the matches. That's going to be my next video, my last one this year, best matches of 2024 in the WWE. Now, do you agree with my picks? Let me know in the comments. Follow at Silo Voice Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, at Silo Wrestling on X, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. Now, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I'm going to wait till my next video to say Happy New Year, because that's the, but if this is the last one you watch before the New Year's, then Happy New Year, Happy Early New Year, regardless. Anyways, I'm coming up with one more video this year, which is the top WWE matches of 2024. And I'll be back on January 4th with my review of my assorted thoughts on the January 3rd SmackDown. And then I'm going to do a kind of a special video with a guest for my thoughts on the Raw premiere on Netflix, which is, they're building that one like a PLE as well, too. So I'll catch you in the next video and the ones after that. For Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.